Gene Wolfe's Shadow of the Torturer, a mind-bending gothic sci-fi epic, was adapted into a comic, but you've probably never seen it. Why? Because the series was cut short before it could fully bring Wolfe's vision to life. This issue is a fascinating relic of what could have been, crafted by a team of rising comic talent, including a young Ted Nafee, years before Courtney Crumrin put him on the map. We've got stunning art, dense storytelling, and a duel with an executioner's sword named Terminus Est. But was this adaptation doomed from the start? And why is the comic based on one of the most acclaimed sci-fi novels of all time selling for pocket change today? Let's dive into the lost comic history of Shadow of the Torturer and uncover the secrets of Innovation Publishing, one of the most ambitious yet ill-fated comic companies of the 1990s. Let's dig in. This third issue of the truncated series sees Severian jailed for the crime of providing a knife to a prisoner, allowing her to end her torment in the hands of the Torturers Guild. Severian, a recent journeyman to the guild, believes his life to be over, but instead he is given a chance to continue his work far abroad from the guild tower, the only place he's ever known. His former master provides him with a magnificent executioner's sword called Terminus Est and instructs him to head to Thrax, a distant city which has need of an executioner. Severian begins his journey in nearby Nessus, where he rooms with two travelers, the giant Baldanders and Dr. Talos, whom, along with a waitress from the inn, plans to put on a play for the amusement of the town. Severian departs with no interest and finds himself at a local store looking for additional supplies. The storekeeper and his sister admire his cloak and sword and offer to buy it. Severian refuses. Soon after, a masked officer enters the store and challenges Severian to a duel. Thinking this to be a trap from his old guild, he accepts and leaves to prepare for battle. The shopkeeper's sister takes him to the botanical gardens to find a special flower he will need for the battle. The story would have continued with Book 4 had the series not been cancelled. This comic series was based on the Book of the New Sun series by Gene Wolfe. The first 6 issues were to follow the entire plot of the first book of the same name. The first 2 issues explain how Severian meets Fuldalis, a legendary revolutionary, and falls for Thecla, the prisoner in his charge, who he later helps by providing her a knife, leading to his excommunication from the guild. The Book of the New Sun is set in the far future Earth, where the sun has dimmed and Earth is cooler. Written by Gene Wolfe, the series has won several awards, including the Nebula Award, British Fantasy Award, and the Science Fiction Chronicle Award. Gene Wolfe was a prolific short story writer and novelist who won many literary awards and was honored as a Grand Master by the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America. In 1998, Locus magazine ranked Shadow of the Torturer the third best fantasy novel published before 1990 based on a poll of subscribers. Scott Rockwell adapted the first book into this comic series and served as co-artist, inker, and colorer. Rockwell is a seasoned comic book writer and colorist. From 1988 to 1993, he served as an editor and art director for Innovation Publishing, where he played a pivotal role in shaping the company's creative direction. During his tenure at Innovation, Rockwell worked on other notable titles including Cyberpunk, Dark Shadows, an adaptation of Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic, and The Light Fantastic. Ted Nafee was the other co-artist, inker, and colorist on the series. Nafee is known for his illustrations in the goth romance comic Gloom Cookie. Nafee has a long and varied career working for publishers like Oni Press and Scholastic, and has since become most known as the creator of the Eisner Award-nominated series Courtney Crumrin. He has also illustrated cards for the Magic the Gathering collectible card game. Speaking exclusively with Read the Freaking Comics, Nafee discusses this issue. I was definitely in over my head, not remotely ready to handle a whole series. It was many more years until I was. What you're seeing is the raw potential of a 19-year-old kid utterly unsupported by experience, or even a passing understanding of the versatility it takes to draw a comic. But it was 1991. The speculation market bubble was still yet to burst, and publishers wanted as many warm bodies as they could throw at the public. Letterer Vicki Williams also worked on this issue. Williams was a distinguished comic book letterer, renowned for her meticulous work across various publishers, including DC Comics, Marvel, Dark Horse, and Archie. For the last 15 years of her career, she worked exclusively for Archie. Her precise lettering style played a significant role in shaping the visual narrative of numerous comic series, leaving an indelible mark on the industry. The cover was illustrated by Derek Rose Sr., Gross Sr. was an American illustrator, writer, editor, and art director. He worked for Marvel, DC, Chaos, Image, and Innovation Publishing, primarily in the 1990s. Gross painted interior for 12 issues of an adaptation of the Anne Rice Vampire Lestat series published by Innovation. He won Comic-Con's Russ Manning Award for the Most Promising Newcomer. In 1992, Gross also painted cover art for Forbidden Planet issues 1 through 4, also published by Innovation. To tell the story of Shadow of the Torturer, we need to discuss Innovation Publishing. Innovation was co-funded by David Campiti in 1988 in Wheeling, West Virginia. Having worked at other comic publishers in the past, Campiti was able to bring with him a number of properties, such as Hero Alliance, Power Factor, and Mark Martin's Natrat. Innovation was one of the first companies to delve heavily into recruiting talents from Brazil, starting the American careers of Mike Deodato and Joe Bennett, among others. The 1992 Russ Manning Best Newcomer Award winner, Mike Okamoto, broke into American comics in 1990, illustrating the Innovation titles The Maze Agency and Hero Alliance. The company published many adaptations of tie-in series of existing media properties, working on books from Anne Rice, Terry Pratchett, and Piers Anthony. They were also known for adapting TV shows like Dark Shadows, Quantum Leap, and Lost in Space. After Campiti left Innovation in 1993 to launch Glass House Graphics, the publisher closed, leaving substantial debts to creators, printers, and investors. Comic adaptations of literary works are a tough thing to get right. The written word allows authors an abundance of opportunities to deep dive into their characters' thoughts and feelings. J.R.R. Tolkien himself would write pages dedicated to flora and fauna in Lord of the Rings, something that doesn't easily translate into the mixed medium of comics. From my research on this issue, Scott Rockwell seems to have adequately adapted Gene Wolfe's work, if at least in terms of tone. Wolfe purposely filled his stories with dense prose, using a mix of words from Latin to German, and in some cases, completely inventing new ones. The comic reads like this in many places. It is not an easy read by any stretch of the imagination, and I can imagine the books to be just as dense in terms of vocabulary. Rockwell and Nafee's work here is unique. They add to the otherworldly vibe with their technique and use of color. Each panel feels like a painting rather than a hand-drawn piece. I get a mix of Sandman and The Crow in their work. Derek Gross' cover work is stunning, an immediate eye-catcher. This is top-notch work. When doing my research, I discovered that his son, Derek Gross Jr., is an artist in his own right. He shared with me this image his father drew. This may have been an unused or promo image for the series. Thank you for sharing this with us, Derek. I have not seen many for sale. I did see an issue on comicbookrealm.com for $3. The cost here is surprising, as I've seen many Gene Wolfe fans interested in reading these comics, but there doesn't seem to be a market for them. There are also no advertisements in this issue. Surprising, given how large Innovation Publishing was in 1991. They had a 1.15 share of all comic sales that year, just behind Dark Horse, Malibu, and Disney. This week, I wanted to find a comic shop close to Gene Wolfe's adopted city of Houston. If you are in the area, I recommend you check out Bedrock City Comic Company, located at 6516 Westheimer Road in Houston, or check them out at bedrockcity.com. Thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see more, please hit like and subscribe. If you have suggestions for comics you want me to deep dive into, please leave a comment below. Please help and support real artists. AI is great for a lot of things, but not for creating art and replacing artists. Thank you.